adopt socialism, but under the name of liberalism, they will adopt every fragment of the socialist program. President Ronald Reagan once attributed this quote to Mr. Norman Thomas, founder of the ACLU. Hello, I'm Scott, a student of religion at Liberty University, and out of a sincere desire to understand the meaning of social justice, seeing as how the word has become a political buzzword of today, my research directed me to several organizations that promote social justice, the principles of the Communist Manifesto, and Mr. Norman Thomas, an American Civil Liberties Union founder. Social justice is not just a buzzword, it's a movement. The term social justice is usually undefined by most users, but those who believe in it are referring to a definite but veiled goal in which the government will be the taskmaster and the people will be enslaved by their rule. Simply put, social justice, while attributed to many ideas and thrown around loosely by certain politicians, is a term used in such a way to motivate people in a sense of doing the right thing while actually cutting away at our individual freedoms in a democracy and promoting a socialist agenda to fundamentally change our constitutional government. In order to know what is meant by social justice, we have to understand the difference of what others want us to believe it means and what they actually intend for it to mean. For this, we need to look at the beliefs of the promoters and supporters of the original intent of social justice, in particular Norman Thomas, then the effects of its use. Remember, Christ told us we would know by the fruits one produces. Therefore, the direction America takes as it strives for social justice will tell us a lot about the meaning of the term. Stephen Mayer of the Effective Communities Project, in a paper entitled Social Justice, writes that social justice represents a variety of beliefs with no precise meaning or clear definition, all being rather abstract. So the picture here is painted for us that those who support social justice refuse to define it clearly, and that should set off alarm bells. Mayer further states, social justice is rooted in seemingly religious doctrine, economic justice, and politics, which in truth equates to the force of law. While Jesus himself advocated for the poor and equality in treatment of people, this was built on the principles of willingness and personal responsibility. In a fallen world, the very means of implementing social justice is an affront to Christianity because Christians understand true social justice is impossible to achieve in a fallen world. So exactly who would you trust with this kind of power to decide what social justice is? When looking at the advocates of social justice, there's always a global push for a scale of implementation in international law, the loss of our national sovereignty, and redistribution of wealth. Under the guise of social justice, Norman Thomas, a six-time presidential candidate of the Socialist Party, was deeply committed to the promotion of the principles of communism written in 1847 by Frederick Engels. In the name of social justice, his foundation of the ACLU has led to the most devious and devastating changes to the moralities, values, and religious freedoms of Americans today. These beliefs were incorporated into the Democratic and Republican Party by 1968. These are the fruits that Norman Thomas produced. Social justice is a carefully crafted term with truly sinister designs. It sounds so good and noble, but underneath the surface it relies on the force of law to execute. This is the tool all soldiers and policemen rely on in the face of opposition to the force of law. This is the tool that the Christian relies on in the face of opposition to Christianity. Which one would you choose? We can look at Russia, China, and North Korea to see where a nation that strives for social justice through force of law is headed. America is or was the example of a nation in the pursuit of Christian principles. Those who use the word social justice take great care to appeal to religious and social groups through a cleverly crafted buzzword. But what they intend to do is redistribute wealth, and through deceptions they will take our God-given rights and freedoms. Social justice may be one of the most anti-American, anti-Christian terms being used in our society today. Social justice is nothing more than chocolate-covered cyanide for freedom and a push for the control of the people of the world. Those who refuse to define this term properly use it with the intent to deceive the American people into accepting a form of government that defies our very freedoms of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Social justice, in effect, is a movement from democracy to communism as seen through its histories, principles, and has far-reaching goals that will touch every part of your life. Organizations like the ACLU and top politicians, all for either power or greed's sake, fully support the implementation of these principles and want to see them fully enforced. It is only a matter of time if allowed. Patrick Henry at one time said, "Give me liberty or give me death." But in modern times, you just might be pointing a gun to your own head when you let a phrase that sounds so noble deceive you and all the rest of your fellow Americans. Thank you. I'm going to pan the audience now. Thank you. Thank you.